directorates. Again, MOCA is been divided into so many parts. So number one is your directorate. So under MOCA, you have a directorate which focuses on everything. So we know what directorate is. That is, directorate implements everything whatever is sent by MOCA. Okay, they need to implement. So it is a director. So which is the only director under? So please keep in mind, I'm only talking about India, no other country. Okay, if you talk about USA, UK and all, you have lots of other things coming up, and it is not MOCA, it is FAA, which I already told you. So I'm not talking about FAA. You might get that later on. So under MOCA, you have directorates, which is Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA. Then you have regulatory bodies, okay, which are those kind of bodies which implements, which make sure that it is being implemented. Okay, so the regulatory bodies is ERA, Airport Economic Regulatory Authority. If you come to the attached offices, okay, the other offices, subordinate offices, it is BCAS, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security. Then you have Commission of Railway Safety, which I already told you. Then you have AAIB, which is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. So these are the attached sub offices, okay, to MOCA. Of course, educational institutions, Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Udan Academy, which is totally based for pilots. Okay, they train pilots. Statutory bodies is Airport Authority of India. Statutory bodies are those kind of bodies which implements the rules. Okay, they make sure that they are following the rules. The airports are following the rules. So those statutory bodies is Airport Authority of India. Then you have central public sectors, which is Pawan Hands. Okay, so it is totally based on central thing. So Pawan Hands comes under that. Now, okay, your aircraft projects is like Civil Aviation Department, Rohini, Civil Aviation Department MG1. So these are all the projects which they had done. MOCA had brought up into action. So projects is not that important. There's no need to remember that. It's just for your knowledge. I have put up that. So is MOCA clear? Is MOCA clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, quickly moving on to. Is it tiring or boring?
No, ma'am.
Thank God. It's okay. At the end, I will show you another video so you'll all freshen up for your next class. Okay, moving on to the next major thing, DGCA, visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, DGCA. Now, what is DGCA? Director General of Civil Aviation. Okay, what is the vision of civil aviation? Is that to promote safe and efficient air transport through regulation and proactive safety oversight systems. So DGCA is that kind of organization which checks on safety and security. Now, if you say, for example, accidents, incidents, terrorism, attack, hijacking, all these things, let's say bombing, okay, any sort of misconduct in the airport or any sort of misconduct in the with the staff, with the employee, okay, everything comes under DGCA. So the airline, or let's say the airport, needs to be reporting it to the DGCA member who would always be present in every airport. So in every airport, there is a member of DGCA who is being presented, okay. Okay, every day you can't go and meet him. So the person who is responsible for that needs to be sending him a mail, or if it is so important, then yes, he will come to yourself and meet according to that. Okay, now if there is a hoax call stating that there is a bomb in the aircraft, then of course he needs to be coming for a meeting. Okay, so that is how the DGCA works. So there is always a member in the DGCA, since the director himself can't come and sit in every airport. So there's a member who would be seated there, or you need to be calling him and informing that sir, there's an Hawks call stated that so and so aircraft is having a bomb threat. So then they will come for a meeting stating that what they need to be doing to avoid it. Okay, so that is the major vision. So main thing is the safety and security of the air travel. Okay, so in 1978, Bureau of Civil Aviation Security was established as the department of DGCA. So before DGCA was only taking care of it. Okay, everything was on DGCA's head. Later on, DGCA thought that it got tired. So what they did is they started a new organization, which is BCAS, which I told you, Bureau of Civil Aviation, where only security comes up, only security. So if you see, all the CISFs are a part of BCAS. Okay, all the CISF, all the Intelligence Bureau, your IB, whoever you see in the airport, are a part of BCAS. Okay, so if they find anything dangerous in your bag, or if they find anything intoxicated in your bag, they immediately report it to the BCAS. So since they come up from the security part, okay, so we all know after the tragedy of this Kanishka thing only, more of the BCAS was implemented, more security was taken care. So that is where the BCAS came up with lots of ideas. Okay, so since DGCA was tired of taking care of everything, they started wanted a separate organization which would take care only on the security. So that is the reason they started this BCAS, okay, in 1978. So this BCAS was actually a small room, okay, small team which was there under DGCA. Later on, they moved on to being a big office, okay, because they felt that BCAS needs to be, needs to be expanded because of the security. So that's the reason they had to move forward and make the one. So the Director General investigate aviation accidents and incidents. So now they are majorly into accidents and incidents, and it is headquartered in Sri Aurobindo Marg, which is there in New Delhi, Safadang Airport. Okay, so everything is there in New Delhi itself. Okay, our civil aviation base is only New Delhi. Okay. Then, so it is planning to replace the organization with a civil aviation authority and modeled on the lines of American Federal Aviation. So it is planning to replace CAA. Okay, and this follows the American policies, which is actually placed by the FAA. Quickly moving on, this is the headquarters of DGCA. If you could see, New Delhi, India. Okay. Then regulatory body is Mr. Gajapati Raju, Minister of Civil Aviation, and Director General is Mr. B.S. Buller. So I'm really sorry I didn't change this. It is not B.S. Buller. B.S. Buller was the last thing. It is Ms. Satyavati now. It's a woman who is being taking care of the regulatory body. Recently been moved out. Mr. Buller has recently been moved out. Now it is Mrs. Satyavati who has become the Director General of DGCA. Okay. Now, this is one of the major thing which comes under ICAO. So that means DGCA is not reporting directly to the ICAO. They had to report it to the MOCA, and MOCA needs to be reporting it to the ICAO. Okay, so they generally check up on the air scheduled travel and the general aviations. Let's say general aviations is like, any such kind of accidents happening. So DGCA majorly focus on the accidents and incidents coming up. Okay, so since before they were focusing on safety and security, but now since BCAS has come up, they quickly moved on to the accidents and incidents. So this is the regional offices where DGCA's regional offices are there. If you see, 14 regional offices are there. I have mentioned the place also: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Cochin, Bhopal, Guwahati, Patiala, Bhubaneswar. All these are kind of regional offices. So these are airworthiness offices. Airworthiness in the sense, okay, that's a little deep, but I will tell you. Airworthiness is in the sense, when you're purchasing an aircraft, DGCA comes and checks on the aircraft whether the aircraft is capable of flying to so much of height. Okay, is the seat worthy to be placed? Is the manufacturing defect is there? Would there be any technical problems? So all these kind of things would be checked by the DGCA also. Okay, so these people comes up. The airworthiness officers are there in so many places. Now, if you come to the next point, regional air safety officers. Okay, like your hijacking, all those things. It is there in only 5 areas, which is Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, and Hyderabad. If you come of research and development, of course, new researchers and development, it is just in 2 areas, that is Bangalore and Pune. Okay. Departments, flight standard bureaus. Okay, the FSB is headed by Chief Flight Officer, Flight Operation Instructor. So this is one of the department in DGCA, which is actually headed by the Chief Flight Operations. So what does this see? This person checks on the airworthiness. This checks on the flight. Totally on the flight operations, as in how your cockpit is worthy, your cabin is worthy to be seated, is it able to travel so much of height, what altitude it can be traveled. All these will be checked by the CFOI. Okay, so this is one of the department. Information and Regulation Directorate is the other department, which totally takes up on all the informations coming up. Now, if you say there is an accident happened on the runway, and the terminal manager would report it to the DGCA stating that this was the reason. Okay, there was an ice on the runway, or let's say there was an FOD on the runway, so the aircraft need to be skipped up. So all these things, Information and Regulations Directorate is take care. Now, Aircraft Engineering Directorate is those totally dealing with engineers. Okay, so whoever engineer is there, they should be taking up a DGCA certificate with them. Then only they would be accommodated as an engineer. So these are certain. This is one of the engineers directorate under DGCA. Flight crew licensing, of course, it is not that you're randomly going and sitting into the aircraft and flying the aircraft. You should have a DGCA license with you, right? So this is the one. Even for the cabin crew, you should have a DGCA certificate to fly in the aircraft. So this is one of the directorate which provides the license for the cabin crew and cockpit crews. Training section, as I already told you, you have a medical section also. Okay, you have certain nurses who should be trained by the DGCA. And if you see, the cabin crew is also trained by DGCA. As I told you, they should have a certificate. Cockpit crews majorly trained by DGCA Academy. Since many of the airlines would take only DGCA trained staffs. Okay. Then Airworthiness Directorate is totally, as I told you, CFOI. Okay, this is a team which helps the CFOI on developing totally on airworthiness, only airworthiness, nothing else. Okay, air accident investigation. Now I already told you DGCA will take care only on accidents and incidents. Okay, so anything happened on the runway, let's say anything happened on the air side, should be immediately reported to the DGCA. So you are not reporting it, you should be informing it to the terminal manager. He would be anyways coming to know about that. He in turn should go and inform the DGCA. Now, that goes according to the hierarchy, but for your knowledge, any sort of thing needs to be informed to the DGCA according. Now, let's say there is an SOP violation. Okay, your standard operating is a set of rules which you need to be following. Okay, so that has been violated, and that is the reason for an incident which has happened. Report it. So this is the thing how it goes. Okay, so now DGCA plays major role in accidents and incidents right now. So before, it was DGCA itself which was taking care of the security part, but now since DGCA wanted a little relief from it, okay, so they created a new organization which was BCAS, Bureau of Civil Aviation. And this was started in 1985. As I already told you, there was a bomb in the Air India flight, right? 182. So that is the reason they started up this separate agency to check on the security services. Okay. Now, safety policies in India, safety management system SMS is those set of aviation requirements, okay, which needs to be followed by every airport, okay, or let's say every airline, which is actually given by DGCA. Now, is there any doubts in DGCA?
Ma'am, can you please once open the eighth slide?
Eighth slide. Is the one? Is this the one?
Yes, ma'am. So I have a doubt on this.
Go ahead, please.
Ma'am, is this regional research and development under DGCA or ICAO, or all these are under ICAO?
No. These are all under DGCA.
Okay, okay,
Now
ma'am.
I'm only talking about DGCA. ICAO, wipe it out. Now I'm only talking about DGCA. These are all DGCA offices. Under DGCA offices, you have set of directorates coming. So as I told you, Department of Airworthiness, Department of Research, all this comes under DGCA. So these are set of offices which this airworthiness offices is located in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, so and so, and air safety is located in certain areas. So you have other directorates also, but these are some of the important directorates which we need to be remembering. That's the reason I mentioned only three.
What is the function of this RAO, ma'am? Exact function.
RAO, Regional Airworthiness Offices, are those offices which will take care. Now, as I told you, for example, you have started up an airline. Okay, you have purchased an aircraft and you need to be flying from, let's say, Bangalore to Delhi. Okay, the DGCA will be sending up the CFOI, which I told you, Chief Operations, Flight Operations teams. They come, they have a check, they will see that this airworthiness department will see that, okay, whether this aircraft is capable of flying to so altitude, okay. How is the cockpit? Will the pilot get, suffocation when he is sitting in the cockpit? Or let's say if a passenger is coming in and he is seated on the aircraft, is he able to sit properly? Okay. Will there be a problem that he is seated proper? Leg space is there between the seats. Everything of the aircraft, only aircraft, okay, would be checked by the airworthiness team. So if there is an engine issue, if there is this is only for a new aircraft. Now, if once the aircraft has flown and come back, they will feel. Now, once you start working, you'll come to know every aircraft is given a airworthiness check. Every aircraft, okay. Once you create an aircraft, you will be sent to that destination with only two or three people. Number one is a pilot. Number two is an engineer. Number three is just an operator who would be sitting with you, just to know whether this aircraft is capable of flying or not. Okay. Now, God forbids, if you're gone. So it is like that. These three people would be sent first. And if they feel that, okay, if they come back safely and they say, engineers will say there might be a defect in this part, I need to check on that. Now, operator might say that, I believe the seat is having some sort of problems. So this is how the airworthiness takes place. So the airworthiness team will come and have a check on a newer aircraft, okay, or let's say a newly parts, the component of an aircraft will be changed, right? So if there is a new component has been put up, again they would be sending for a flight with only these three people, stating that please check whether it is capable of carrying the passengers. So this is how thrice the check is being made, then only the passengers are traveled on that aircraft. Otherwise, this aircraft won't be taken up. So the DGCA needs to be giving up a certificate